For 8 months, Melissa Grant came to the Pemberton family's home in Charlotte, North Carolina, 3 times a week, cared for their 2 young children, and earned a reputation in the neighborhood as the most trustworthy babysitter anyone had ever hired. She had references. She had a background check on file. She had a warm smile that made every parent who met her feel immediately at ease. None of it was real. Melissa Grant did not exist. The woman caring for the Pemberton children for 8 months was actually 34-year-old Tara Wynn, a woman using a completely fabricated identity, complete with a forged background check, fake references from people who didn't exist, and a social security number that belonged to someone else entirely. This is the story of how she got away with it for 8 months, and the single moment that finally exposed everything. The Pemberton family found Melissa through what seemed like an entirely legitimate channel, a well-reviewed local childcare agency website. Sarah Pemberton, a nurse working rotating hospital shifts, needed reliable part-time care for her 6-year-old daughter and 3-year-old son while she and her husband worked. Melissa's profile included a state-issued background check certificate, 3 glowing references from previous families, and a CPR certification card. Sarah called all 3 references before hiring her. Each one answered, spoke warmly about Melissa's reliability and gentleness with children, and encouraged Sarah to hire her without hesitation. What Sarah didn't know was that all 3 reference calls had been answered by Tara's sister and 2 close friends, each one provided with a script and a fake name to use when the calls came in. The background check certificate had been digitally altered using a template Tara found through an online forum, changing the name and case number while keeping the official-looking state seal intact. For 8 months, Tara, as Melissa, picked up the children from school, prepared their meals, helped with homework, and by every visible measure provided excellent care. The Pemberton children genuinely loved her. Sarah later said in an interview that Melissa felt like family by the 4th month. The deception began to crack in the 7th month when Sarah's husband, David, ran into a woman at a community event who recognized Melissa's photo on the family's refrigerator, a thank you card photo from an appreciation gift the Pembertons had given her. The woman, a former neighbor of Tara Wynn's from 2 years earlier, immediately said, "That's not Melissa, that's Tara. We went to the same gym for years." David assumed it was a simple mistake. People occasionally resemble each other, but the comment stayed with Sarah, and out of quiet unease, rather than active suspicion, she decided to run an independent background check through a different, verified service rather than relying on the certificate Melissa had originally provided. The results that came back listed no criminal record under the name Melissa Grant because no such person existed in any government database. There was no birth certificate, no driver's license history, no social security record under that name in the entire state of North Carolina. Sarah brought the discrepancy to the childcare agency that had originally connected them, only to discover that the agency itself had limited verification protocols and had never independently confirmed Melissa's identity beyond the documents she herself had submitted. Sarah hired a private investigator who within 4 days confirmed that Melissa Grant was actually Tara Wynn, a woman with a documented history of identity fraud in 2 other states, including a previous case in Tennessee where she had used a different fabricated identity to secure a nanny position with another family for nearly a year before being discovered. When confronted, Tara did not deny her real identity. She explained to investigators that she had a felony fraud conviction from her early 20s that made it nearly impossible to pass standard background checks for childcare positions, despite having genuinely transformed her life and developed real skill and passion for working with children. She stated she created the false identity specifically to bypass background check systems, believing, in her own words, that she had changed enough as a person that the old record shouldn't define her future. Law enforcement viewed the situation differently. Tara Wynn was charged with identity theft, fraud, and providing false information to obtain employment. Because no harm had come to the children during her employment, and there was no evidence of any abusive intent, prosecutors offered a plea agreement resulting in probation rather than incarceration, alongside a permanent prohibition from working in any childcare-related field. The Pemberton family has since become advocates for stricter background verification standards within private childcare agencies, working with North Carolina legislators on proposed regulations requiring agencies to independently verify identity documents rather than accepting self-submitted certificates. Sarah has said the hardest part wasn't the fraud itself. It was explaining to her children why someone they loved and trusted for 8 months could no longer be part of their lives, without being able to fully explain the complicated truth of why. Tara Wynn has not spoken publicly since her sentencing. Her attorney has stated she is committed to rebuilding her life through legitimate means. This case has become frequently cited in discussions about child care verification gaps across the United States, a reminder that even seemingly thorough hiring processes can be circumvented by someone determined enough to fabricate an entire identity. This has been the Dark Truth Files. If this case made you think twice about background checks, share it. Every parent deserves to know the full truth about who they're trusting with their children. Stay vigilant, verify everything, and trust your instincts when something feels slightly off.